Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. This is the first episode of the second XL600. I won't show everything I don't want to repeat stuff that was in the first XL600 video. So that first XL600 that I got, it is kind of it wasn't one that I was going to restore. It was a basket case. I got it to run, drive, and then I sold it a few months ago. But at the end of trying to fix that one up, I didn't think I was going to get running. And I really wanted to get an XL600 and do wheelies on it. So I got a different XL600. And that one I got pretty cheap because second gear was broken on it. It doesn't go into second gear. So watch as I take the engine out and try to find out what's wrong with second gear. See ya. So what do we have here? This is, I don't know if you remember, but this thing went down hard. Scrape, scrape. Big scrape. Oh, that's why this is so bent, yeah. Somebody went down pretty hard. What was I saying? Oh yeah, at the end of the XL600 series, I kind of showed in my garage that I had bought this other one. And I bought the other one because I didn't think I was going to get the first one to go again. But I did. And this one is actually in pretty good shape, except second gear is blown out of it. And now the carbs are missing because I took the carbs off it and put it on the other one, because I was having this issue with it vapor locking. And I think that, what the hell got on this? What is that? What the fuck? What was I saying? Yeah, it's vapor, the other carbs were vapor locking, and I think it's because there's a port on it, and I thought that was a vacuum source, and I plugged it. And I bet it's just a vent, and I bet that's why it was vapor locking. So, what am I going to do with this one? So it's been hanging around, and it needs, unfortunately, to get into the crankcase, to get at second gear, you have to take the whole top end off, and you have to split the case, and that's a good amount of work, and I've just been kind of putting it off and putting it off. And I met this guy at Rice-A-Rama, who I've met before. He's the owner of the New England Motorcycle Museum, Ken Kaplan. And I asked him if I brought my XL600 down, would he teach me how to do one of those awesome wheelies? Like, he can do a wheelie and just go down the street, no problem. And he said he would. So now I have an XL600. It has first gear. I could probably do it in just first gear. I don't know. It's mid-September, so we're going to run out of weather within the next 8 weeks. So I'd have to do it pretty quick. So I have, with that other bike, I came with a whole parts bike that wasn't quite complete. And this is one of the engines from it. And what I was thinking I would do is I would, it's already all stripped. All the stuff is off of it. I'll have to get the manual out. I gotta take the flywheel off. But it's all right here, and I was thinking maybe I could take this one, split the cases, and see what I'm in for. Maybe I should do that before I take that engine out. It has to be done anyway. One way or another, I have to fix that one, right? Because how am I going to sell it or ride it if it doesn't have second gear? It kind of sucks. You can go first or third, but anyway, it has to be done. So this bike is actually, so I find myself without motorcycles that run and drive and are registered. The Z1R is actually registered and insured. Even though I was registered and insured, I haven't started it yet. I should just start it instead of playing around with another project, but I really want to get this one going. And this one is registered and insured. And yes, so I have nothing to ride right now. So I was thinking I could just kind of quickly, fix second gear on this one. I'm hoping that there'd be a good second gear in this one, but I'm sure there's a reason someone took this engine apart and stripped the top end off it. The cylinder was missing. There's a head, but there's no cylinder. And I suspect the cylinder went onto the one that I restored. I guess, but I'm not sure. Who knows? Anyway, I got to look in here and see if there's a second gear that's usable. And I have to take that one all apart. Now that I'm kind of familiar, it was a year ago that I did that work, but 10 months ago. But I am reasonably familiar with what's going on now. And this kind of rant video is going on and on. I think the rest of the bike is good. I already did rebuild the front master cylinder. Took the disc off because it was sitting outside for a little while. Oh, maybe that's where that came from, under the porch. I had a cover on it though. It's like, it kind of feels like sap. How would sap have gotten onto it? Whatever. All right, so I need to take this engine out. And I think I'll go ahead and do that. The carbs are already off. Let's get the exhaust off. I think that foot peg gets in the way, if I recall. Yeah, we'll take the brake actuator off of it, because I think that also gets in the way. I do have its brand new battery sitting on a shelf that has been stored. It's a little dirty. At some point I'll clean it. Not sure whether I'm going to restore it or not. It has this red tank on it, which is not correct for this year. It's big, so big that the turn signals hit it. But that's neither here nor there. Let's stay on target. So let's get the engine out and go from there. Yeah. Gotta take the oil out of it. What? Did I already take the oil out of it? Where's the oil? Where's the beef? Okay. Well, I know it didn't leak out of it because it was sitting in the shed and there was no oil under it. Well, that's strange. All right. Not sure what's going on with that. cable. Excuse me. Decompression lever. That one is part of the bike, part of the engine. And there's the lever, which is here. Okay, so how do I get that out there? It's the choke. Where it is down here. Yes, I'm working on this one right here. Go. Okay. Yeah, let's get the exhaust out of the way. Looks like there's a bolt missing there. And I may have taken that out, installed it for the other one. So we're down here. What was I doing? Yeah. And to take the muffler off, do I have to take the muffler off? To take the muffler off, I have to get the turn signal off. But I don't think I need to deal with the get a turn signal. It's wailed. I gotta order some turn signals. I think I can just take the header off. I think I can take the header bolts off. They're pretty rusty. I don't know how much crap they're gonna give me. Let's see. That's a little concerning that there's no oil in it. Or it's not coming out anyway. Not sure about that. I know this one's different. This one has an aftermarket oil cooler. That doesn't make it devoid of using oil, of course. Alright, so that one moved. Loosened. How about this one? Oh, yes, good. Okay. Stud came out with that one. That's all right. Deal with that later. And that stud came out also. Right. All right, and there's one of the keepers, and here's the other keeper. The new leaf springs from my Mustang have been sitting there for 3 months, 2.5 months. I have to keep stepping over them. Okay, loosened. Oh, come on now. That one doesn't feel good. Feels like it's gonna break. I would not really want to break an exhaust stud. See how bad it looks. This one here, yeah, look, it's like kind of melted. Not melted, it's just rusted. Let's see what I can do with a wire wheel. Well, I hit it with a wire wheel and some PB plaster. It didn't come off. But there is a good amount of it there. The other one did come right off. There's a good amount of it there. So maybe I can get it out with some heat and vice grips. Again, I will cross that bridge later. Okay, clutch cable. cable off. Okay, that's moving a little bit. Go. All right. Good. So that's off there. I probably will end up taking the muffler off, but don't need to do it right now. So, okay. So we got this cooler line, and the cooler line goes to the return. And where does this one go? Maybe oil will come out of there. Okay, so that's out. And the throttle cables are not really in the way, they're okay. This drain line, overfill line, I'm gonna take that off of there. I'll take it off down here. Okay. Next. That's nice. Okay, so let's take the oil cooler line off. Maybe I took the oil out of it. I don't remember doing that though. Where is the oil? Did Elf take it? I mean, what the hell? Okay, so there's that one, and then there's one down here at the very bottom of the frame, which is not a 19. Another oil fitting. It doesn't quite fit like a 20. There must be oil sitting in the cooler. Hell, I don't even know. Alright. Okay, well. Alright, so down here, take this thing off. This cable oil line holder. And the electrical wire for the crank position sensor. I believe is what that is. So you can come out of there. Alright. Got that one. Alright, what else? There must be some electronics, right? I know there are. Yeah, okay, here. So let's take the neutral light. And that is the magneto, I think. Maybe not. I'm not sure what this one is. There's just one of them. Okay. Take that thing out of there. Is that the only wire? Doesn't that seem kind of small? Right? Wasn't there a couple? I thought there was a big beefy wire for the magneto. I guess I'm mistaken. Oh yeah, the chain has to come off. Chain cover. I don't think I have to take the shifter off in order to get the chain cover off. So let me go work on that. I'm being lazy. I don't want to loosen the rear wheel up, so I'm trying to get the chain off. There we go. Oh, sweet. All right. Good. Right. Fine. All right. Throw the chain back there. You definitely power wash this thing. It's like it's missing that ridiculously expensive thing that I bought for the chain, like this runner guide thing. I remember that cost a bunch of money. Okay, so that's disconnected. Alright, so top motor mount is right here. Doubt the engine has ever come off. Right there. Yeah, why don't I not ruin the bolt? This one down here, I'll just loosen it up. Okay, what else? Is it one back here? Yeah, there's one. So it's one down there, one up here. This one. Go. That one's out. Okay, front mount is out. That one's out. How about this one? Alright, so two left. One is down in here. That's a 14, and the other one is up front. That one. And there's one more. So the bolt was still in the back. I think it's taking the weight. pry-bar action. Okay, bushing, that's that spacer I didn't have, so I used washers. And now I just got to get this last one out by wiggling the engine or something. It's quite a mess here on the floor. Yeah, so I'm working on this back one again. It's hitting the foot peg, which I did not take off on this side, so I'm going to take that off. What is it, 14? What am I going to do? So I think I hunched over it, and I remember those oil lines being kind of a pain in the ass. And then there's all this crap all over the floor. I bet this thing is freaking heavy. So I gotta get the bottom out of that notch. I think. Now I just gotta bring it out the side. Should I put it up on the table? Why not just leave it there? Because I do want to take that one apart. Okay, I think that's good. 5 o'clock. Alright, I got a pretty big mess here on the floor. Let's go ahead and clean that up. And we'll move the bike out of the way. Okay, so I got that mess cleaned up. Stuck the bike over there. And now on to this spare case. So I was reading the instructions on how to split the case. You're going to take the clutch off and everything on this side. Everything's already off. The Kickstarter spindle was in there. It was jammed in there with a bunch of flakes of some bushing that is no longer living. And now this has to come off. The what's it called? Flywheel? I don't know. Whatever that is, It has to come off. I don't think it was supposed to strip out like that, so I can't do that again. Well, that's not how you do it properly. Because I think I screwed up the threads on this. Or they were already screwed up, who knows. Alright, so it says remove the bolts from the left-hand side first. So I will do that. That could be not good. Not that it matters all that much on this one, but I would like to try and take it apart. Alright, so I got all the bolts out and I've been tapping around and it was stuck, so I kind of hit it like right here and now it's opened up a little bit. What am I supposed to do? Set the crankcase down on the left-hand side, which is that side. Hold on to the right-hand crankcase and tap on the right-hand end of the crankshaft and the transmission shafts with a plastic or soft-face mallet. Okay. Doing anything? Not really. It's definitely coming apart on this side. So maybe it's Like apart too much on this side. Let's see. Okay, put that back. Okay, now it's opened up over here a little bit, so I think that worked a bit. Dowel in here somewhere. I'm sure that's going to be rusted. It's acting like there's something stuck there. Well, I gotta play with this. Alright, well this corner's giving me a lot of trouble, and I'm doing things like you're not supposed to do, like put a screwdriver in there and pry on it. But I don't really care about this case. So yeah, there it is. So there's a metal dowel there, and that's what's hanging it up. There's one here and one up there. So it seems ready to go. There we go. Hey, alright. Stuff didn't fall all over the place. Good. Alright. Ooh, yeah, okay, so there's some damage on this thing. So hopefully this is why they swapped the bottom end. And so the Kickstarter was kind of wedged in there. The Kickstarter gear, this thing. Didn't move at all. And you can see here, hopefully this will focus. See there? See how that's cracked? So that holds what? The shift, there's the shift fork. Right, so that's the gear changer. Well, with that being cracked, does it care? So what goes in that hole? What goes in that hole is the end of the kickstart shaft. It's broken, as you can see, it's broken and moves around. But it really only holds this, well, the gear shifter. Yeah, this is the gear shifter. So maybe that was causing a problem, I don't know. Okay, so I think this has to stay in there. Just put this out of the way. So now I can move to the transmission section of the book and try to see what's the correct procedure to take these out and find out what is what. So just kind of move them. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I'm just going to look at the gears and see if any of them are chipped. I mean, who knows what's wrong with the other one. Second gear, you put it in second gear and it's like, you could obviously hear it was just spinning around. But what does that mean? You know, what's broken? So quick visual inspection. I don't see any broken gear, so hopefully that is good news. And I know what the dowels are. It's pretty clean in there. For some reason you're not supposed to take the crank out, like the bearing that holds the crank in on this side is pressed in. I have a press. I guess I could press it out if I wanted to. look at the transmission section. Let's see if this angle works. I bought this thing to mount over this workbench in case I ever did a transmission again. So let's see. So you pull back this little fork thing. I don't know if you can see it, and then the whole shifter pulls out. Okay, so there's that. It's got a spring there. A funny looking spring. Just put it over there. And now there's a bolt here that I have to take out to release the shift shaft. Let me go do that. Alright, so I took this bolt out, and that is supposed to allow this shaft to come out. And that is the pivot shaft for the fork arms. So now I'm supposed to be able to move those out of the way and take the drum out. Right, so there's the shift drum. Getting this back together is going to be interesting. Okay, so now what? Remove both transmission, remove the shift drum and the shift forks. Okay, so the shift forks come out, R, L, and C for center. Okay, so these are like this. So you can just go ahead and put that sucker in there. Oops. Oops, it's not what you want to hear. Maybe take them all together. They seem to be coming apart. There's one assembly, and there's another, but pieces of it kind of went here and there. It's a collar. Here's okay, that's another thrust washer. Okay, so there's like this spring thing from a seal. I can see someone tried to take the main seal off of there and they ruined it, and that's the little spring thing from that, so that's not part of the transmission. That's fine. Okay. Any broken teeth? Don't see any. And this is the part that kind of goes up here. Sure it isn't orientation to that. Hopefully it's described. Well, I have a whole nother one that I haven't screwed up yet, so no problem. Alright, so I think that's all I need to do, really. That's all I wanted to do. So I can put all this stuff to the side and do a little more reading. It seems to describe here in the book which gears are which. Yeah, so I'll look at that and kind of see if I can find out which one is second gear. And then I'll get the other engine, put it up here, and start taking the top end off. There's a bolt here. You know, like maybe there's some oil in there. Yeah, there's some oil there. Good. Alright, so I'm not going to show all the teardown steps. The other XL600 series video, I think I did a pretty good job showing all that. But I'll just say, you know, I'll kind of check in at the basic level. So you have to take this valve cover off. The valve cover holds the cam in place. And then off comes the head, and then off comes the cylinder. So the first thing is to get these valve cover bolts off so I can take the valve cover off. So I did have one bolt break on me over in the same exact area where that exhaust stud broke. So it's pretty easy to get to, though. I'll have to drill that out, obviously. I remember this dropping out last time. Oh yeah, over here. That one goes. Okay. And there's some oil dripping. All right. Looks familiar. So, right, everything's intact. Doesn't look too bad yet. Okay, put you over here. And now we'll look for the next step. I think take the cam chain tensioner off, if I remember. Taking the cam out. drop anywhere. It's totally fine. Alright, get the head off. Good amount of carbon. But the bolts didn't give me a hard time, even the one that was right here in this kind of area where it got some water. There's that broken exhaust stud that I'll have to deal with. And there's the broken bolt from the head cover. So that'll be fun dealing with later, but for now, out of the way. And here's the mini part. Cover, gasket. I'll keep that for now. And now I got to get the cylinder off. The cylinder put up kind of a fight. The bolts were really hard to get out, but nothing broke. And this didn't want to come off, and it still doesn't want to come off. Bore looks fine, really good, which I expected because it really ran fine. I did not intend to put rings on it or really mess with the top end at all, other than just put it back together, because it just seemed to run fine. It didn't blow any smoke, it started right up. So I'm trying to not mess with that too much. Alright, so I think I'll take this part. There's less stuff on this side, so I'll probably take this part off first. So you get the magneto cover, and that'll get rid of this wire. Here's the clutch actuator. Goes like that. And yeah. I think I'll probably take the piston out of there to get it out of the way, huh? How about that way? No? Okay, I took the little clips out and the pin doesn't want to come out. I wonder why that is. Don't remember having this issue ever. So when I took the other magneto off, whatever this is, flywheel thing, so this part threads in, and there's a hole where the bolt goes. And then what's supposed to pull the flywheel off is this bolt. See how this bolt goes through here? It's in the wrong way, but that's what's supposed to. So this threads into the flywheel, and then this bolt, annoying me. So the issue is that this bolt is about the same size as the bolt that holds on the flywheel, and it doesn't have anything to push off against. It doesn't quite reach the threads, and you don't really want it to push against the threads anyway. So the last one that I did, right, I just used this itself and threaded it into the flywheel and then pushed against the crankcase and it popped off. But as it popped off, it ran out of threads and went all the way in, which I don't think it's supposed to do that. So what I did anyway is put a penny and a dime in the way of this bolt so that it'll push off against that. I'm not sure that that will work because pennies and dimes are not particularly stout, but we shall see in a minute here. I should put some oil on this. 3 in 1. Alright, now if it's going to work, should be able to blast it with this air gun. Do I need to hold it? What size is that? 27 millimeter? So that did not seem to work because this ran out of threads. It needs a longer bolt. I'm not sure what it did to the penny and dime. So now I'll do what I did previously. Come on, get off of there. Okay, I think that's it. There we go. Ah, it went right through the penny and dime. I guess I'm not going to use my penny and dime, huh? Like a bullet went through it. Oh well. Okay, it's off. Good. So I think that's all that I need to do on this side. This side is the easy side. And then the other side has all that junk in it that I had to take off on the other bike. Taking the clutch cover off. There's a little bit of oil slick. Oil under there. Alright. Should look familiar from the other video. Okay, so I think clutch is the first thing that has to come off. I'm going to take this off, get that out of the way. The position sensor. clutch. I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with it. I think the bike has 12,000 miles on it. 12,500 miles. I'll take a look at it. I mean, if it needs a clutch, I can order one quick enough. They're available. All right, so this comes off, I think. Yeah, this looks totally fine. I can inspect that more later. Okay, so I remember this big nut. I remember this gave me a hassle putting it on, I think. So what size is that? Do I have a tool for this? How did I do this last time? Maybe I just did that. Yes, and here's that washer that says this side faces out. Right. And there's a washer on the back of that. And here comes this thing. And there's that thing. Just kind of keep that all together. Alright, well I gotta take a bunch of this stuff off. Oil pump, this thing. Something drop. There we go. It's a washer. I remember that dropping last time. Note to self. So the Kickstarter transfer gear or idle gear, whatever, the deeper side is the one facing the engine. You can see how that has a little deeper dwell. So it goes like that, and then there's bushing, and that's it for that. And then on the kick shaft, there's this thingamabob, and then the spring, and then the thrust washer. And then there's a clip, and then the gear comes off, I think. Or does it? Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it does. Alright, note to self, the primary drive gear. So you got the bolt, and the thrust, another thrust washer that says this side out, and then this gear thing, which can only go on one way. And then this is the position sensor, so that's on the outside. The space is on the inside. And then, does that come right off? Yes. Okay. I don't think it matters how that goes on. It looks uniform. Okay, and then here's the cam chain. I don't know if I have another. I have a gasket set. I have a cam chain tensioner for this. I'm not sure if I bought another cam chain. Probably worth replacing it. And then there's this gear, which I don't know that I need to take off, but I probably will do. Alright, let's just take it off. The gear part goes towards the crankshaft, and the space part, what is that? Is that a burr or something? Some kind of burr right there. Doesn't seem to affect anything. And that only goes on one way also, I think. Yeah. Yeah, maybe they put a little notch on it to indicate which one's thicker. It's like, see, 2 go into 1. Alright, so that's fine. And now the kickstart shaft. How about that thing? No? Anything else gonna fall out? I think it's the kickstart shaft, and that should be it. And then I can split this case. Yeah, note to self, after I took off the kickstart shaft, the neutral or shift indicator thing, whatever this is, it's related to the shifting drum. It's driven from the drum. Took that off, and that is the end of the stuff for the side of the case. That would be the clutch side, right hand side. Okay, here we go. Right. And good. Unlike the other one, this one is not broken down here. Now, I'm very curious to see what the damage is. Of course I would be curious about that. Hey, thanks for watching the first episode of XL600 number 2. Yeah, I don't think I've ever split the cases on a big single like that. So anyway, I've got a lot more work to do on it. I think this series will just be basically getting the engine back together and see if I can get it running and driving before the snow hits. It's Halloween today, 2023, October 31st, and so we got maybe 6 weeks until the snow, maybe 8, depends upon what Mother Nature is up to. So that's my goal. I really would like to get it going, and plus I don't have a motorcycle that runs and drives. I still have to get the Z1R to go. Any case, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.